Hi Simmers, JQ Honey here, welcome back. Before we start, I apologize for my voiceover. I'm having a hard time speaking evenly these days. Thank you for bearing with me. So, the gallery is hopefully working again for everyone because today we're touring my San Myshuno rebuild. Let's begin our tour with the Indian-inspired spice market. First up are the Culpeper apartments. Originally, nearly all of them were starter apartments, but before I began rebuilding San Myshuno, I did note the rent and deposit for each of the apartments, and turns out Spice Market is only the second cheapest neighborhood. So, here, you'll find only one starter apartment, which is 17 Culpeper House, although it does have a study and hence room for expansion. When you first place this from the gallery, there will be a missing wall. Do not replace this wall until after the other apartments are done. Please watch my apartment troubleshooting video for further info. 18 Culpeper House is furnished for a family of parent Sims with 2 teens and they all share a bathroom. 19 Culpeper House is the only one with a balcony and I furnished it for parent Sims with 2 children. I actually moved the Rasoya household here for my save file, so in the inhabited version of JQ Base Save, the children's bedroom is furnished for Raj instead. Their original apartment, 20 Culpeper House, is quite big, so I wanted that for a bigger family. Now it's furnished for parent Sims with a teen, a child, and a toddler. In the next apartment building, we have another starter apartment in 2A Jasmine Suites. It's not a far departure from the original because I kept the Bida household here, only adding a nursery for their new offspring. Opposite them is 2B Jasmine Suites, which I've furnished for parent Sims with 3 children, including a toddler. Outside the apartment buildings are these 2 standalone lots. I rebuilt the old salt house to be a little bigger and more warehouse shaped. I just really wanted to make use of the floor-to-ceiling windows that came with City Living. The front entrance leads right into the main area, which is the open living plus dining plus kitchen area, and you could access the yard from here as well. The bedrooms and bathrooms are in the back, from where you could also use the back entrance. Upstairs overlooking the main area is a study with a few activity objects. And it also has access to the pool area. You could also get to the pool from the back entrance. After that, we have our first karaoke bar, Waterside Warbler. The name was already perfect, so I kept it. I tried to do a factory conversion look, but really, I don't have the slightest idea. At first, there were more karaoke rooms because I had laid it out similar to the karaoke places I've been to. But during playtesting, that was just too noisy for casual gameplay. So I had to reduce the number of karaoke rooms and machines, as well as space them apart a little bit. Next, we have the Moroccan-inspired Arts Quarter. The rent here is middle range, so I did away with starters, except for one. 910 Medina Studios has one of the lowest rent and deposit of all of San Myshuno, so I furnished it as a starter, although I did keep Salim Benali in mind. I rebuilt it as a loft, so it has different floor heights and therefore you'll find it in 2 separate room uploads. 920 Medina Studios is a nicer apartment, furnished comfortably for parent Sims with a teen. It was really annoying that the walls are so high and I couldn't share a room with different floor heights as one. Anyway, after placing this, it's probably best to re-establish the master bath as its own room before placing the missing wall in the next apartment. Take the room tool and draw a room where the bathroom is. Then, replace whatever's missing as you please. 930 Medina Studios is a pretty big apartment, so I furnished it for a bigger family of parent Sims with a teen, a child, and a toddler. The parents are entertainers and they probably like to have guests over in their large living room. There's a full bath near the kitchen, which you could turn into a laundry room if you have laundry day installed. When placing this from the gallery, there's a missing wall in the bathroom. Again, do not replace this wall until after the other apartments are done. The other apartment building in Arts Quarter is Hakim House. 121 Hakim House is furnished for the Jung household, which is a family of comedian dad, painter mom, and a social butterfly. The parents share a study where they work on their crafts. 122 Hakim House is probably my favorite in this set. It's furnished for parent Sims with 2 teens. I think the parent is an art critic. They have a study along with their ensuite. The teens each have their own bedroom. One is an avid gamer and the other is an aspiring musician. I think this one has a missing wall too, but I can't remember. Regardless, do with it the same you do with the others. And remember to watch my video on apartments. The next apartment building contains our first penthouse. I kept the original name, Fountain View Penthouse, as well as the original shape. At first, I was going to do it differently, but then I noticed the fake ledge of the fake building clipping into the interior, so I gave up and just stuck to how it originally was. And I like it much better in the end. It's furnished for parent Sims with a teen and a child. Going back to the ground level, we have Kasbah Arts Center. I like the shape of my last museum build and thought it suits this location as well, if not better. So I rebuilt a sort of alternate version of that here. I added the dome roof piece in the center as an attempt to sort of echo some kind of Moroccan influence, but we don't have a lot going on with just one pack. It might feel a little bare, but I think that's suitable for this build. Downstairs, where the gallery is, you'll also find a bar, the washrooms, and a few musical instruments. Upstairs is where all the painting is done, as well as a couple of sculpting tables and an area for the kids. We're halfway done with the tour, so thanks for sticking around. I hope you remembered to like and subscribe. Part 3 is the Japanese-inspired fashion district. The rents in 21 Chic Street are some of the cheapest of all of the city. So, 2 out of 3 are now starter apartments. 1310 is a single bedroom furnished for a style influencer. At the time, I hadn't yet decided on my edit of Penny Pizzazz, but I knew I wanted to move her here. I ended up not changing her career after all, so I think for my save file I just replaced the style board object with some deco. 1312 is a small family starter for parent Sims with a toddler. Tall windows are probably better suited in a living area, but I never liked having the kitchen be right where the front door is. Of course, you could change up any of my builds to your liking. This one will also have a missing wall, so treat it the same as before. Additionally, editing this specific apartment messes up the outer walls, so I have re-uploaded a version where this issue is fixed. Do check the catalog and make sure it's the fixed version. Our last starter apartment is 1313, which I keep referring to as the murder apartment because of the chalk outline. It's covered with a rug in this rebuild because I feel like that's just what you do if you moved into a murder apartment. This has the cheapest rent in all of San Myshuno, so of course it has to be a starter. The next apartment building houses our first duplex apartments. 701 Zenview is now a loft-style apartment for a tech guru sim. It has all the gaming-related objects from base game and city living. When placing this, you'll need to repaint the upper floor where the loft is. I've used the same wall pattern throughout, so it should be straightforward. And then, remember to place a staircase. 702 Zenview has the most restrictive layout, I feel. There weren't many different ways I could work with it. I didn't like the shape of this one until I decided to move the karaoke legends here. I feel the layout just suits them, you know? Originally, Miko and Darling share a bedroom, which I don't agree with. Darling might as well be an adult, and Miko actually is one, so I imagine they'd much rather have their own spaces. Same as previously, remember to place a staircase to complete the apartment. Returning to the ground, we have Planet Llama Karaoke, where Planet Honeypot used to be. It's another karaoke bar venue, this time for larger groups and parties. I really wanted to keep the pink vibes of the original, so I needed the columns. But I know they would get in the way during gameplay, so I placed them one tile away from the actual playable area. And this is the result. I still put a few more, as well as the divider thing, inside, although I think I've kept them to a minimum. But feel free to make your own adjustments. Taking a rabbit hole elevator, we come to our last penthouse, on Torrendy Tower. It's a luxury penthouse for parent sims with a teen and an infant. There is much potential here for repurposing. I struggled with this one for the longest time, trying different approaches and bulldozing to start over many times. I did not want to just build a cool looking house that happens to be plopped onto the top of a skyscraper. I wanted a penthouse that definitely was always part of this building. But then this building is kinda ugly, because it's just a square shape. After a long break, I finally found an approach that I like. When first placing this penthouse, you'll find the curved fence in the corner disappear. Just use the eyedropper tool and copy the fence and floor to replace. The second last part is Uptown, which I'm still not sure what it's trying to be. It's really a shame we can't share apartments as apartments. The tall wall heights would have been perfect for split levels. I wanted to minimize the number of uploads for each apartment, so I just didn't try to do any more split levels. For this part, I wanted a lot of empty space between furniture and rooms, so you'll find open floor plans and fewer bedrooms here. 1010 Alto Apartments is now a 2-bedroom apartment for parent sims with an infant. Both bedrooms have ensuite, and there's also a study and a half bath that you could repurpose into a laundry room. I used the same colors throughout because I couldn't brain anymore. What with the limited choices we have. I sectioned off the front entrance because I wanted to hide that unflattering door. 1020 Alto Apartments is still Diego Lobo's apartment. I only made a couple of changes to the original layout. The gym is now the ensuite master bathroom and walk-in closet, and the original bathroom is now his study. The original 8 land grab seems to be furnished as 2 master suites, so I furnished mine for 2 roommates as well. I also really wanted the living area to be 2 floors high, so I was left with even less space on the upper floor. I didn't want to deviate too much from how the rest of the building looks, so I kept the balcony looking the same, only switching the door position to make more room for the living area. For the stairs, remember to have the Move Objects cheat turned on. Place your choice of stairs and make it 2 tile wide. Bend it clockwise to create an L-shaped staircase, and place it where it fits best. Then just add railings and you're good to go. 9 Land Grab is one of the 3 apartments that you couldn't edit without messing up the outer wall. So, after bulldozing the original apartment to place my rebuilds, you'll need to replace the outer wall in one corner of the upper floor. Make sure you do this last, after placing both floors and adding stairs. The stairs should be a single tile, U-shaped staircase with the landing turned clockwise. To fix the outer wall, click on the wall to select the room. Then pull the wall in by clicking and dragging the arrow that appears. This brings the outside wall inside so you could edit it. Take the eyedropper tool and click on the wall pattern that matches the original outside wall to copy it. Hold down Shift and paint the wall that you just dragged inside. Deselect the wall pattern tool by pressing Escape key. Click on the wall to select it again and drag it back in place. It should look right now. For the rebuild, since I kept it as the Feng's apartment, I mostly kept the original layout. I only sectioned off the study downstairs and added a guest room with ensuite. The upstairs study, meant to be Victor's, also has a full bathroom attached and can potentially be repurposed into another bedroom for expanding the family, although I doubt they'd want to. There's also a half bath downstairs with space to add washer and dryer machines. For our very last apartment in 888 Spire Apartments, I made the staircase smaller and pushed it to a corner, so there's now a 2-story high open living and dining area. The upper floor is furnished as the master suite with walk-in closet, a study, and a TV area. The lower level has the second bedroom with ensuite, a gym, a bathroom, and a small swimming pool. I figured since there's apparently a problem with apartments with pools in them, I'd just make it a small one. This is also one of the 3 apartments that gets messed up outer walls with any edit. And since it's 3 stories high, I just included the lofts in my uploads for this apartment, which should take care of this issue. Remember to place 2 staircases. They should be single-tiled, U-shaped staircases, with the landings turned counterclockwise. Adjust the length of the staircases accordingly. Next, going up to the rooftop of the next building, we have Stargazer Lounge. It's a rooftop lounge with a pool as in the original. I absolutely wanted to build it to match the building better, so this is what I came up with. There's a raised platform where the musical instruments are placed in front of the main seating area, and a couple of bubble blowers on the other side. On the upper floor is a loft overlooking the main stage, and a smaller stage for your Sims to perform. Outside is the pool area with poolside washrooms and a bar with some seating. The last build in Uptown is Sky Fitness Gym. This location is definitely much better suited for a restaurant, but this is a city living rebuild, so it's still a gym. The lower floor is the reception area with a bar and some seating, and to the side is the bath and changing area, which opens to the pool in the back. All the gym equipment is on the upper floor, where you'll also find a small basketball court and a balcony. I think I used the tallest wall height here, so you could rearrange things to fit in a climbing wall treadmill from the fitness stuff pack. Finally, we've made it to the last rebuild for San Myshuno Meadows. I furnished it as a wedding venue with a few park items and the observatory, same as the original. Sims rarely ever go here, and I figured since there's already a jungle gym and basketball court nearby, this might as well just be a dedicated wedding venue. It's categorized as generic on the gallery because the in-game venue type is a special lot type, Center Park, and cannot be changed without mods. I playtested with 3 weddings, and the only issues are the existing ones, like hired roles not showing up, and the wedding fireworks going off whenever the lot is loaded outside of wedding events following a wedding event. In the case of the latter, I figured it isn't too much of a problem since the fireworks reset after each set off anyway. I might have gone overboard with the plants inside the greenhouse because during one of my playtests, when going into build mode from the live mode, the lot lagged heavily. If you feel this may be a problem for you, always go into build mode from the world menu and not during gameplay. You could also just delete some of the plants inside. That's the rebuild tour done. Now, as usual, all these lots and apartments are available for download from the gallery or through the links in the video description. They will get buried as I keep rebuilding more worlds like my previous rebuilds have, so the easiest way to get them is to go to my profile at Graysons90 and search for hashtag SandMyShuno. As for the pre-made Sims makeover, it's still mostly the same as before. They got a wardrobe change, maybe some extra skills, and a few are moved to different apartments for my save file linked below. I also gave them likes and dislikes based on their traits or careers where applicable. Thank you for joining me today. It'll be a much longer time, I think, before my next update. Between chasing a pay raise at my full-time job and raising a toddler, my hands have never been so full. But I love seeing all the lots getting slowly rebuilt, and I hope you're fine bearing it with me. Happy simming and see you next time! Bye!